is up, Haunted fam? How are we doing today? I know it's been a very, very long time since you've heard from me, but I am currently at work right now, and recent events have encouraged me to try to discuss what has been going on with the channel. No, most of you don't really care, but I've been more focusing on my TikTok and just everything else. Now, there have been a lot of chatter in the paranormal community involving like people faking videos, and just it's getting a little annoying. And I haven't been doing this for a while. I've been in the paranormal field for about 4 or 5 years. I've gone to some amazing locations, had the opportunity to stay the night at some cool locations and investigate to the best of my ability. And as of late, I haven't had the opportunity to get back out there and start doing some more videos and locations, or even just walking around the cemetery, which I enjoy. I've been getting more into the spiritual side of things, as far as Norse pagan, Viking, if you don't understand what that means. And there is a lot of aspects behind the paranormal and spiritual world. And there are also sciences behind the paranormal world. There are people that don't think that there's a science behind it, but there is. And, you know, I want to not really come clean, but just talk about my recent investigations. Like, I know there were things that I used that a lot of you people are like, oh, well, that's not real, da 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 da. I used it because it was fucking there. It was convenient. And I wasn't going to spend all this amount of money on getting the stuff that I know would truly work. So I used what was available to me at the time, other than my actual spirit box, the REM pod, EMF when I used it, and the EVP recorder that I frequently used. Now, there is a lot of science between the paranormal world and how certain things are explained, how certain things worked. And there are things that other people use that are more part of the spiritual side, the spiritual realm, such as grimoires. Now, this is a handwritten journal with all of my investigations, all of my lore, information on things that I've researched, so on and so forth. Things that normal people don't believe exist. Normal people that don't do research, such as demonology and just regular lore as far as leviathans and demons and witchcraft, so on and so forth. There is so much lore on these things. Just like Norse pagan, there's a lot of lore in Norse mythology, so on and so forth. I also can read and I study runes. Now, for people that don't know what these are stones. They're stones with runes on them, and they mean something. Some of these you'll kind of recognize, but I know how to read them. I know how to read someone's, not like future, but like give them a reading on what they could be looking for. I have friends in the medium and psychic world that do this stuff professionally, and they know what they're doing because they do their research. Whether certain people believe it or not, it is a aspect and a belief that people have. Now, I've talked about my grimoire a lot, and there is a lot that I've written. There are actual symbols in here. Symbols here, runes that I have studied and wrote. This whole book is full of things. Some are from my own experiences. And that's something that I want to get into. I'm not going to spend a long time on this video, just something to show you guys But what needs to be discussed here is that everyone does have their own experiences. Everyone has had their own things, whether it really happened or it didn't, whether they're staging it or not. It is someone's experiences in whatever field they're doing. Now, with the paranormal and the spiritual world, it is very hard to kind of split between what's real and fake. What could be just paranoia, what could be just the energy of the room. Now, if I had my spirit box, I would explain how certain things worked. But I have a buddy for that. You want to go check him out. His name's Noah Fairday. And he does a lot of real, paranormal investigations. He explores a lot of cool locations. I've done a few things with him in the past. Haven't had the opportunity to do it as of late. But maybe in the future I'll do something with him just to go out and explore some places. We'll see. Not in the works yet, but if it happens, it happens. Now, would I like to get back into the paranormal field? Possibly. I honestly have been more kind of like I said, on the spiritual side, and just working with protection runes and protection spells. Whether you believe it or not, it's there. It is an aspect of the lore. And if you look up that word, lore, now that has a lot of meanings, but the main meaning to the word lore is finding the history or the significance of that subject in which you are referring to, such as demons. Now, demons, we all know Lucifer. We all know there are certain demons that were named Valak, which was depicted in the Conjuring series. There are demons out there. There are negativity out there. There are negative entities that are out there. Are there ways to summon them? Probably. Do I know how to? That's not for me to say. Have I dealt with spirits such as these? Yes, and they are not fun to deal with. I had an attachment sometime last year around this time, and it was an attachment that I got from going to several places, such as the Conjuring House, Bathsheba Sherman's grave, Fort Adams in Newport. There were so many locations that I visited, and I messed with things that I shouldn't have. It wasn't a fun cleansing, let's just say that. And there are lore and practices where you can cleanse in a home, such as carrying crystals, or taking a salt bath at the end of any investigation, or protecting your home with salt lines or sigils. I do both. I protect my house and entries of my home with salt. I also put protection sigils in front of my home, just for that added protection, because you never know. You never know what you could be inviting, you never know what you could be provoking, whether you use a Ouija board or not. Now, there was an instant on a video on one of my TikToks where someone was trying to question, where is my proof on if Ouija boards work or not? Completely misunderstood exactly what I was trying to say. And what I was trying to say was, there is aspects in the world and in history where people have used talking boards and negative entities or energies have come through. I have never had a Ouija board work where it was either my own paranoia making it move, or just, I don't know. It has to come down to the location you're in, the energy you feel while doing these practices, and Did things happen in my investigations that I couldn't explain? Yeah. And there were only 2 locations where I can make that true. And that was the Conjuring House and Fort Adams in Newport, Rhode Island. I've captured clear EVPs in some locations, but nothing to a point where I can go, I can't explain that. Now, when I was in the Conjuring House, I was doing something called the Estes method. I've talked about it on my channel several times. We've used this method numerous times, and people have said, oh, well, how do we know what's actually being said? Because we just had the headphones plugged into the spirit box, and you couldn't really hear what was coming out of it. Which, yes, that is true. You guys don't really know what's being said other than what's coming out of us while we're talking and answering questions. So there were aspects where I was doing a session, and the person that was asking the questions, he was about maybe 5 or 6 feet away from me. He was across the room from me. And I had the headphones on. I think it was a fucking shirt or something wrapped around my head. You don't like my language, bite me. And I felt like a tug on my hoodie. And it got to a point where it was a few times where I thought the guy that was asking me questions was messing with me, because it was my first time in the home. I was by myself. And come to find out, he didn't move at all. You can see in the video that I'm standing there and I'm like looking around because I feel something touching me. You guys can think that's bullshit all you want. It's what I experienced. It's what I felt. Now, I've watched numerous videos at this home, and they've claimed all this weird shit has happened. I've noticed they've faked things, and it's not hard to know when someone is faking something in the paranormal field if you know how to spot it. And because I have good friends in the paranormal world and the spiritual world, and with just editing in general, I know when things are being cut. I know when things are being messed with. And to be honest, if you're in a home that's claimed to be one of the most haunted homes in New England or in the U.S. known to man, and you have a bunch of people with you that are like off camera, or they're upstairs from you, or they're just not in frame, how do you know if they're not doing stupid shit? How do you know? You can't. You just go of what you see on YouTube. And honestly, if you're just doing it for entertainment purposes, that's fine. Do it. I did YouTube mainly for entertainment because I like to go out and explore and have fun. Yes, was I trying to look for real paranormal evidence? Yeah, of course I was. Did I really find any? No. No, because in all honesty, if you're with a bunch of people at a cemetery or a haunted location or wherever, not a lot's gonna happen. It's better to be one-on-one, because whether the spirit is not comfortable showing itself or making activity or stuff like that, even with just EVPs, it's better to do the one-on-one thing than have Tom, Dick, and fucking Harry, Mo, Larry, and Curly all around you talking when you're trying to do a session. That's just my personal and professional opinion. You can take it as you feel. I don't care. I'm going to say this, though. If you are in the paranormal field, and I'm not, my channel, it's okay. I have some videos that are over 1,000 views. Cool. Take this however you will. Just because you get a camera or a phone, buy some cheap spirit box or buy some spirit box off of Amazon or wherever you buy it, does not mean you're a paranormal investigator. Anybody can do it. Yeah, anyone can do it. I fucking did it. Sorry, that was weird. I did it. And from December of, I want to say 2019, something like that, I went out and I religiously did a video every week. Sometimes multiple days in a week. And I would constantly upload content, whatever it may be, from either buying dark web mystery boxes off of fucking eBay, or buying random shit off of eBay and just seeing if it has an attachment, or just going out and using that stupid Randonautica app. And honestly, I mainly just did those videos just to go out and explore. Just to get out of the house and go do shit, instead of sitting in the house doing nothing. That's mainly why I did those videos. So, if you're watching this, I guess you could say the truth comes out. I did not fake any of those videos, because I never said any of that shit was real. I just said, I found this, and I'm going to see what it's about. Did it work? Sometimes. Did it? No. Did I get to explore some amazing locations and visit some cool places and meet some cool people? Yeah, I did. It was a fun time. Some of the people I met, they were kind of... Let's just say that thankfully they stopped doing what they were doing. And I called them out on the shit. But yeah, so when it comes to doing this, when it comes to doing anything like this, or going out to a cemetery or a known haunted location, do your research. Sometimes I forget to do it. I just go out and fucking do it. Do your research, learn the lore on whatever you're doing, and that also means paranormal tech, because there's lore behind that. There is science behind it. Whether you think there's not, there is. There is a science and an explanation behind everything. Whether you sit there and debunk every little thing you see, okay, cool, debunk it. Sometimes I forget to debunk things. I just go out and enjoy the moment. Do I get freaked out a little bit? Yeah. You want to know why? It's a big thing. Because I'm in a fucking cemetery at night by myself. Why else wouldn't I be freaked out? This world is going to shit. Whether people want to believe it or not. That's part of another reason why I don't really go out and explore locations anymore. Because you never know what could happen. Am I taking precautions to avoid things from happening? Yeah. Maybe will I go out and do videos again? Sure, if the people I did videos with want to do it again. I love going out and exploring and just having a good time. Walking in a cemetery, whether you people think it's weird or creepy or whatever, it's peaceful to me. Because, yeah, I'm by myself, or it's quiet. Whether I'm with people or not, it's quiet, it's peaceful. It's something I can connect to. And no, not because I want to die. It's because I have a strong belief in this. I have a strong belief in this. These. Anything spiritual. Witchcraft, Wiccan, Wicca. God, spirits, entities. I believe in that shit. You don't? That's your own fault. Like, you can look up anything you want, anything you can think of, and take the show Supernatural. You want to know something? About 90% of the things in that show, as far as lore, is almost accurate. If you look all that shit up, it's real. You look up all those sigils, it's real. Do you see it around a lot? No, because it's from back in the day. It's from times where we couldn't understand that, where we depicted everything as witchcraft, where we depicted everything as different. Norse gods were real, Vikings were real. The lore behind Norse, Greek, and just everything that we used to study and go over in school, all that stuff was real. All that history, if you dig into it, if you really dig into it. If I gave someone this book with everything that I've written in it, they'd learn a lot. I could go to a history museum and I could go and look at one subject. Everything that I learned there, I write in this. Because that is my way of remembering what I did. That is my history. That is my story. Whether this is a journal or not, which it is also called a grimoire. If you look that up, you'll know what it means. I'm not explaining it. If you're really interested in what this is or what that side of the spiritual realm is, look it up. I promise you, you'll get intrigued. I'm not a big reader. I'm not. I'll read things online. I'll read things on my phone. But I don't sit there and read through a 1,000-page book and get joy from that. If I need to research something and learn about something, I will do it. I try not to go and do things without research. Research in the paranormal world is a big, big factor. Trying not to repeat myself here, but it happens. Because I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about what I do. Whether people agree with it or not, whether people believe what I believe or not, it's what I do. Like I said, I've posted videos where I've done my own rituals. I've posted clips and photos of certain cleansing rituals that I've done. I've done candle magic. I've done spell work, spell jars. I've created protection jars. And they work. Do you believe they work? No, but I do. Because that's the mentality that I feel. That's the belief, that's the intention that I'm trying to do. Look up intent. Look up lore. Do your research. Whether you believe it or not, guess what? If you're a big fan of the paranormal world and you respect Ed and Lorraine Warren's work, they did lore. They had their own grimoires. Really think they didn't? They were demonologists. Lorraine Warren was a clairvoyant. They did this shit for a living. They had their own paranormal society, or paranormal group, whatever you want to call it. I'm not trying to disrespect them, I just can't come up with the name for it. But everyone does their own research throughout the years. They don't just go out and do it. Like, there's cases on shit like this. Real cases. I've done, I think, one case in someone's house, and honestly, I think we were just there for like moral support or something. But yeah, we went to the house, we did an investigation there, we found nothing. This person believed in her soul that there was a dark entity there. We gave her protection sigils, we gave her a spell an incantation to use, and just gave her warning symbols to put in each corner of her house, north, south, east, and west, because that's what you do. If I had the time and the money, I have the money, but if I had the time to actually go out and do real cases, there are people I know that would love to join me and help too. Shit, I could go ask my buddy Chuck in New York. I could ask my buddy Noah. He does his own paranormal society in Massachusetts somewhere. Like, just because people do YouTube doesn't mean they're doing it for the right reasons. Just because they do paranormal investigations doesn't mean they're doing it to help or find answers. They're doing it for clicks, views, but that's what everyone's doing. Everyone is doing it for clout. Everyone wants to make that big buck. And yeah, the more followers, the more subscribers, the more supporters you get on YouTube, you get paid. And that would be great. I think there was only 2 videos that I got paid from because they had a certain amount of views or whatever it was. Now, my channel is still sitting at like 920 subscribers. That's my own fault because I stopped, but I needed to stop. I needed to get back on a level playing field, mentally, physically, and emotionally, and digging more into this helped. It really did. Because it was something I could focus on and not stress about, other than, oh shit, when's my next video gonna be? What am I gonna do now? How am I gonna get there? What is it gonna be about? Being a content creator fucking sucks. Eventually the payout's worth it, but being a constant content creator is ridiculous. I just started doing Twitch gaming, and I don't care if it gets views or not. I'll sit there, play video games, and just stream the footage. You don't even have to hear me. But it's something I enjoy doing. I don't know why, but I like entertaining. I like to entertain people. I like to put smiles on people's faces when I can. I know there are people that could give any less of a fuck about me and what I do. And there are some that watch everything that I do. I'll let that float in your brain for a little bit. But I'm gonna kind of end it with this because I've been on a rant long enough. If you are passionate about something, if you believe deep down that you could succeed in whatever you're trying to do it. Screw all the haters, screw all the people that call you fake and everything else, and they're just looking for a reaction. I'm not doing this for a reaction. I'm doing this because it's how I feel. It's how passionate I am. And for people that have supported me over the years, continue to support me on TikTok, YouTube, and eventually Twitch. I don't see that taking off, but it's something fun to do other than sitting there doing nothing. I love you all. I appreciate all of you. Whether you support me, love me, hate me. Without you, I would have no reason to keep going. Whether it's to prove everybody wrong or just entertain you for 15 to 30 minutes a day or a night with my videos when I posted them. If it puts a smile on your face, if it entertains you, it makes you laugh, that's something to me. It's hard to explain. It really is. And for people that have supported me through all my downfalls and just mental illness. Everyone has mental illness, so don't sit there and try to make fun of me. You can do it, and I will gladly shut you down. Everyone goes through their own shit, whether it's crystal clear right on their face, or it's to a point where you just think they're happy 90% of the time. Everyone has their own thing. Everyone has their own way of being, if you understand what that means. I am 28 years old, and I have done so many amazing things that I never expected to be possible. I got to wrestle. I got to do something that I grew up admiring. Was I good? Did I enjoy it? Fuck yeah, I did. And then I moved on to YouTube. I got to be a paranormal investigator, or tried to be a paranormal investigator. Do I know a lot? Yeah. Are there still things I could learn? Of course. You could always learn. You could always improve. It all comes down to how you feel about yourself and how you think you're doing. Screw what everyone else says. Screw what everyone else thinks. If it makes you fucking smile, if it gives you a reason to get out of bed every damn morning, do it. If you know in your heart, in your mind, that what you're doing is good for you, do it. Don't let all the haters and naysayers stop you. There is a saying that in the Viking world, and I'm gonna sign off with this. You guys are amazing. Don't let anybody stop you from achieving your goals. And if you are willing to make yourself successful, do it. SKAL, my friends. I appreciate all of you, and maybe soon